Good day. So we're going to get back to our refactoring practice today. We're continuing to dig into this 5 lines of code by Christian Clausen. And our goals for today, we're going to get to the introduce unifying similar classes refactoring. This is kind of what we've been building to. All the rearranging and combining things. And then we've got classes that look similar to one another. We're going to go through some steps. It's a little complex, but by practicing, by going through the practice, we're going to be able to make it second nature. And then once we've practiced that, we're going to discuss the idea of a basis, which is how we can determine whether or not we have classes that are appropriate for combining. And also going along with that, we'll discuss an idea called the arithmetic of conditions. It's a concept of Boolean logic that I think will be really helpful as we look into how we can refactor things and simplify some of the stuff that we're doing. So that being said, let's do this thing. Okay. Now you'll remember last time we combined in all the classes we created this is Stony to combine some logic and is Boxy to combine the logic, and then the is falling box, and then we brought the move horizontal methods. We went and pushed those up into the classes, and then the move vertical class method got moved into the classes. So, and everything works, but now we've got these classes and we start noticing that there are a couple of things that are similar. For instance, if you look at stone and falling stone, they're very similar. Well, here's a trick I like to do when I have code that I think is similar. I'll just go ahead and I'll copy this. And I will start my my win merge. Okay, and I will paste that code into win merge, and then I'll get this next section of code that I think is similar. I'll copy that, paste that over here. You can do this with win merge. You can actually do this in VS Code as well, but here we can see the things that are different. Okay, so you've got this is stone, they return different things. Is falling stone returns different things. And then move horizontal. Okay, so now when a method, so these are really similar in the other classes. It's just these 3 things that are different. So we'll discard all that. So let's look at how we can combine. All right, so so here's one of the concepts we need to consider. When a method returns a constant, we call it a constant method. So if it returns a false or a true, that's a constant. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to change the classes so that they the methods return constants, and then we want to find ways where we can combine the classes where there are returning constants to actually simplify it. Okay, and this will make more sense as we start to put it together. So first we want to make the move horizontal methods the same. All right, so you got, this has got a bunch of code in it, and this, the falling stone just has, it's pretty much empty, right? So what we'll do to be able to combine them is we will, if true, we'll add this to the beginning of each, okay? Stop that. Okay, so Got that? And that's all smooth. And then we come down here, move horizontal, and if true, then we do nothing. Okay. All right. So now what we want to do is say, actually, it's not necessarily true. What we want to say is, if this is a, change that to if is falling stone equals true. Actually, this would be if is falling stone is false here. This would be is if. We're kind of doing the opposite of what we did last week, where we were cleaning this sort of stuff out. If falling is falling stone equals true. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll copy the body of each to the other. So we got this, if true, else. We got this here. Right, and then we got this here. Oh, that's what we want right there. Else. There. So now you'll see if this is true and this is false, and if this is false and if this is true. Now you'll notice that these constant methods, the is falling stone constant method is different for each. Okay, I'm sorry, here and here. Let's make that a little smaller so we can see all that code. So basically, is falling stone returns false here, and is falling stone returns true here. All right. So now we want to kind of do something a little bit different. We want to create a constant here and a constructor. All right. So private falling Boolean. And then we will create a constructor. This is how we do this in TypeScript. And same thing with the triple equals and that sort of thing. I only say that because I'm a Java developer, and I assume that most of the people who are following me are Java developers. This dot falling equals, now in this case, this falling stone is false, right? And then we'll do the same thing down here, except this dot falling will equal true. Okay. So now we will change the is falling stone to return falling, right? Okay, cannot find falling. Falling is right here. Well, that's not helpful. What did I do wrong? Oh, right. I should know better. This dot falling. This dot falling. Right. Okay. So, all right. Now, we will go and build this, make sure we didn't break anything. Make sure our logic is still correct. Okay, and refresh this. We'll go here. Looks like everything still works. Good. Glad to see it. Okay, so now we've got the, we'll make this a default value, okay? So what I mean is that we're going to go and in the constructor, you're going to set constructor private falling in. Okay. So this is something that you can do in in TypeScript. Is you can set this default parameter in the constructor, and then you don't have to define it there. So private falling in, and we take it out there. All right, now you'll see we got this red down here. So these places where we had it are no longer working. So let's go back here. Now, a new stone, falling is false. A falling stone, here, falling is true. And we come down here, falling stone is true, and a regular stone is not falling, so false. Okay, excuse me. So now we can go up here and we see that stone and falling stone are essentially the same because we've got this move horizontal, move vertical is, oh, move vertical is not the same. Oh yeah, move vertical is the same. Move horizontal is now the same. We just made them the same because you pass in whether it's falling stone, right? So they're essentially the same. So what we can do is get rid of falling stone because they're now the same classes, right? So everything is just stone. And so you'll see that down here, this is red. So we'll just change this to be a stone. We'll change this to be a stone. So we've combined those classes and gotten rid of the reasonable pile of code. Now let's make sure that we didn't break anything. So compile that. Oops, wrong way. We go here. We refresh and looks like everything continues to work. So this being the stone and the falling stone, and it worked just the way we expected it to, which is pretty exciting. So basically, you see what we did here in the stone. we created this constructor. We have this move horizontal method, and so we simplified how things are done. But by doing that, we were able to get rid of an entire class, which is pretty exciting. Yeah, the code that's easiest to test is the code that doesn't exist, right? Now you see that if falling stone is true, we don't do anything. We can just get rid of that now, and we don't even need the else, right? So this is nice and cleaned up. Okay, now, so we've made it more readable, but now, one of the things that is confusing is you'll notice that down here you got to pass in a stone true or false, and falling stone, well, basically true or false, and that's not very readable. That's going to confuse people. So what we want to do there is we will create a new enum. I know we've been getting rid of enums, but this is one of those cases where it's actually going to clean things up for us, make things a little easier. So you got falling and resting. Okay, so now we come down here to stone, and instead of Boolean, we'll make this a falling state, right? Because that's what we called, I'm sorry, falling state. I need to stop talking while I'm typing there. So basically, we want to determine the state of the stone is either falling or resting. So we set that. Then we come down here to the stone and we make this as falling state. And then falling false. Oops. Make that falling right there. This dot falling. So this is falling stone. It's not falling equals falling, falling state dot falling. Right. Okay. And then you'll see we've got this red down here again. We won't say false, we'll say falling state dot resting. Oh, I'm sorry. This is, so it's stone, so it's resting. And then this is a falling stone. So this would be, oops. Come back here. What did I do? Stone. Falling state dot falling. And then we'll need to do that down here as well. Falling state dot resting. Is that right? Oh man, that's so frustrating. Falling. What did I do down here? So falling state dot resting. I don't remember what that had. So that was true. So that's falling state dot falling. If it's false, then see, I'm even getting confused as I'm doing this. So we needed to add this state dot resting. And since I'm probably confused myself and messed this all up, I'm going to just go and test this and make sure that it's working the way I expect it to. Make sure I didn't break something in it. And stone falls and moves and rests. Good. So that continues to work. That's a relief. Okay. So now you know that we've dealt with the enums before, right? And so we go back up here. So this is what we did in the beginning. So you got this falling state. So let's go ahead and create an interface. Falling state. Does this look familiar? So is falling state. Come on, make that pretty. Get that space out of there. Okay. And then we'll have our class falling implements falling state. And then you have to have is falling. Turn true. Is resting. Turn. Okay. You may say, is this really getting rid of code? Well, hide and watch. This is going to simplify things and make things more readable. So now we come back down to our stone. And instead of a enum falling state, I would just get rid of this enum falling state. Stop that. Right. So now we've got the interface falling state. So we come down to the stone, which is going to be unhappy. That's title. You want stone. Oh, I'm sorry. What am I looking at? That's the stone. Yes. So now we will change this to, oh man, return turn is dot falling dot is falling, right? So it's falling state. It's not falling, it's falling. So basically this makes this even more readable. Okay, we come back down here where things are read again. And this is not falling state dot resting. This is a new resting. Then new falling. We do the same thing here. New falling. And new resting. Okay. All right. So we've gone through and just made this more readable. We'll go ahead and compile it and make sure that I didn't screw up my logic again. Okay. And refresh. It does fall, and it does rest, and it does move. Good. So what we've done is basically created these classes here. So we've gotten rid of the enum, which makes us want to do if statements and that sort of thing. And we've added classes, so we're able to take advantage of the polymorphism of Java to clean things up. And if you're concerned that it's slower to call this function and to create this class than it is to reference an enum, that may be true, but for what we're doing, this is a user interface function. You're not even going to notice it. Okay. Now, So here we go. So we can now go through and see if there's some functions that we don't use. So let's do that. Is air is being used? Is stone that being used? Looks like is stone is not being used now. So let's delete all the is stones. What about is falling stone? Interesting. See, we're still using that. So I wonder, maybe we can clean that up. Let's see, how about is box is still, oh, is that not being used? Is box is not being used. Interesting. So let's delete that. And is falling box is being used. Is lock 1 is being used. Is lock 2 is being used. Color of tile, draw tile, move horizontal. It's being used. Move vertical. Is stony is being used, and is boxy is being used. Okay, good. So we simplified things. So what we did here, if we look at our index, we did a bunch of stuff. We basically I should have gone ahead and checked this in, but into 2 different steps, but I didn't. So, but what we did is we combined the falling stone and the stone classes. So let's go ahead and make note of that. Combine falling stone class into stone, and we removed unused method. Okay, do that, check it in. Yep. Save all. Did I not save that? Oh my goodness. Let's go recompile that, make sure I didn't break something. Okay. Okay, good. And we are happy. All right, so basically, let's look at this. When you have 2 or more classes that differ from each other only in a couple of what's called constant methods, then we can use this refactoring pattern to make them the same. Now, let's look at the idea of a basis. A basis is, this is something that Christian Clausen kind of invented or defined. So a basis is a set of constant methods. So basically this is air is a constant method. This is falling box is lock. So these are constant methods because they're returning a constant, all right? They always return the same thing. So if you have a I guess a basis would be where you've got the 2 classes that are returning constant methods or constant values. So the 2 constant methods in 2 classes that match are the same. So if you have, like in this case, we had 1 constant method in stone and 1 constant method in falling stone. So basically that was that was 1 constant method, and basically we had this move horizontal. So basically we had what he calls a 2-point basis. So you want to You want to have as few of those methods as possible that that are different. And so if you're going to return, if you're going to combine two methods, you want to have basically x minus 1 bases. So basically we had two methods that were the same in each, okay? Or I guess two methods that were different in each. And so what we did is we made these the same. The move horizontal, we made them the same. And then we went back and changed the is falling stone to be the same by passing in this here variable, this value. All right, so since both of them depended on this one value, we were able to take these two methods and make them the same and combine them. And we did that by simplifying the is falling stone method by passing in a flag, true or false, because it's returning a false. So we did that by passing in that flag from the well, first we had it as a default value, and then we passed it in from the calling method, and then we just made that more readable. Then we went and simplified the move horizontal. Since it's the same in both and it's dependent upon that flag, we were able to just combine that and make that one function in both classes, and then combine the two classes. So that's pretty clever, and it's a handy way to be able to combine your classes. All right, so let's look at now, go back here, update tile. So if we look at update tile, we want to make the bodies of the if statements more similar, okay? So let's introduce some methods for this new falling field, okay? So what we can do is, let me go ahead and set a tag here. Come back up, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a method called drop, okay? Now what should drop do? And we'll also have a rest. And what should drop and rest do? Well, let's look here. If it's see, if it's a falling stone, we want to change a stone from being resting to falling. We want to basically call a function called drop. Okay, so we want to change the state from resting to falling. If we want to have a rock rest, then we'll change the state from falling to resting. Okay, so let's go back up here. So we'll do that. So drop, to drop air, we won't do anything. And to rest air, we won't do anything. And let's go ahead and put those everywhere that we'll need that. Flux won't do anything, and unbreakable won't do anything, and player won't do anything, and stone will do something. We'll come back to that. Box won't do anything. Falling box won't do anything. Block 1, 2 won't do anything. Okay, so let's go back to stone. stone will do something. So stone, we will, basically we're going to say this dot falling equals new falling. Okay, and here this dot resting equals new resting. Do we care about the value it had before? Not really. Sorry, not this dot resting. What am I saying? Stop falling is new resting. Okay. All right. So we kind of take baby steps here to keep from confusing ourselves, because as you can tell, I confuse myself often. So let's go back down to our update tile method again. All right. And so what we are doing here, we have this this stone new falling. It's falling stone and resting. So what we're going to do is update tile, new stone, new falling. Where it's right there. If it's a falling stone, new stone, basically we're going to say, change that to rest. Oh, sorry. There. So, and then this one, new stone falling, change this to dot fall. No, not falling box. Fall. What did I do wrong here? Oh, drop. And boy, did I break a bunch of stuff here. Did I just delete a mess of stuff? Wow. Okay, so drop. Okay. All right, so basically we're simplifying this so that we can falling stone. Okay, so now, oh, right. So we've got, I'm sorry. We've got this thing with the stone being the same. See what we're looking at here, okay? What we'll do, what we did to stone and combined that, let's do the same thing to box, right? So basically what we did, if you look at box, we'll go and create our WinMerge. See that? And then you got falling box. Stop that. I'm going to copy all that stuff. And falling box. You see what's different. You got move horizontal is falling box, right? So they're the only two things that are different. So if we can combine those, that would be good. So discard all those changes. So we'll do just what we did up here with stone, where we created this falling, right? So box will say is falling. So we'll create our private falling Boolean, right? Same thing here. Private falling And then we'll create a constructor. Falling. In. This dot falling was falling. And then the constructor for falling box will look very similar. Okay. Then we've got falling box will not return false. It will return falling. This dot falling. Same thing here. Falling box will return this dot falling. Okay. And then we come down here. Same thing here, new box. Is it falling? False. Falling box, true. Down here, falling box. You know, we went through all this stuff. Why don't we, since we've already done this for stone, we don't need to go through all of these steps here again. We can just do the same thing we do here for box. Right, so basically we've got the falling state, it's already created. So again, this will return is falling box. Will return this dot falling equals falling. I'm sorry, this dot. What is it? This dot falling dot is falling. That's it. This dot falling dot is falling. There we go. Man. Short-term memory. Same thing here. This dot falling dot is falling. And we'll copy the constructor here. Put it here. All right. And then we'll do the same thing here to combine the move horizontal. So if true, actually if true, if is this dot falling dot is falling. Okay. Okay. And then we do here for the, let's move horizontal, right? Horizontal. This dot is falling. And we do nothing else. Right. And then we take this down here. I gotta pay attention. You're supposed to be catching me when I'm doing this, telling me, hey, you're doing that wrong. So this is falling box, so it's resting, do nothing. And box, if this, sorry, resting, because this is just the regular box. This is the falling box. This one is falling. Okay, so great. So now this is the same as falling box. Return this is falling. There. This is the same. So this is all the same. We come down here and do the same thing we do here. Set new box falling. We say box, change word, new resting, falling box, new falling. Right? We do the same thing here. Falling box. So this would be new box, new falling box, new resting. Okay. Can I do that right up here? Box, new box. Okay, so then we come back up here to our box, falling box, can go away. Is that right? Yeah. Because it's the same as box. And we will go and compile that, make sure oh, this won't work. Come down here. Yeah, falling box doesn't exist anymore. How did I do that? Okay. Let's rebuild it one more time. Okay, and we'll test this, make sure I didn't screw up my logic with my live coding breaking stuff there. Oops, I did break something, look. So our stones got messed up. How did I mess up our stones? Okay. Well, that's the cool thing about this. You can just go back to where you were. There, that's what it's supposed to do. So what the heck? What the heck did I do wrong? Right, so tile, air, breakable, player, stone, and box, and falling box. Well, let's do this like we did up here again. Boom. So put the falling state back in. Okay, it's falling stone. Make that, I'm sorry, that's probably what I did. Falling box, return this, return this dot falling dot is falling, and then box, falling box, this dot falling dot is falling. Okay, got that. We need to come down here, set these again, return new box, new falling, new, yeah, falling, new resting, new falling. New falling, new resting. Okay, go ahead and build that. Say, did I break it yet? I don't think so. I think I caught what I did wrong. Okay. Then come back here to box, unbreakable player, stone, and box. All right. So we got this is falling. Now we do the move horizontal thing like we did before. We got if this dot falling dot is resting. There. Else down here and falling box, move. It's horizontal, right? Yes. So move horizontal here. Insert. You got if this dot falling dot is falling, then you will do nothing. All right. Copy that up here. Okay. Copy that down here. Oops, just need the first part. Right. So if it's resting, we do all this stuff. If it's falling, we do all this stuff. It'll never be resting because this is a falling box. Okay, so let's compile that. Refresh, see if I broke anything. No, things are not broken. Okay. Now, since we've got this is the same as this, the constructors are the same, and move horizontal is the same, so that means falling box is, oops, yeah, falling box is redundant, so that can go away. Uh-oh, we come down here, falling box, make that not be falling anymore. Let's rebuild it. Okay. Yeah, we're running a little long because I messed something up. Okay, good. So this time we're right. Now we come back to where we were before. So you've got this new resting, new falling, and we've got the drop function, right? That we just created way up here. Do a quick reminder. So you've got your falling state, and we added this where is this box? Stony. Did I get rid of drop? I threw all of that stuff away. Okay, so all right, let's look at this real quick. When I start rushing, I start getting sloppy. So let's go ahead and check this in. So what we did is we combined falling box into box. Combine falling box into box. Add that. We'll check it in. Good. So now we'll go back. We're going to create our drop. Can't edit that part. You got to edit this one here. So drop method, which would be void, thank you, and our rest method, which will be void. And here, drop would be doing nothing, and rest would be doing nothing. And so we'll now put that every place it needs to be. Okay. But for box and stone, for stone drop, we'll set this dot falling new falling. And rest will be this dot falling equals new resting, right? Same thing for box. Is that some duplication? Yeah, but that's good duplication. These classes need to implement these methods, okay? So then we come down here into the, where is it, the update tile method. And here, so you're setting a new stone, new falling, new stone, new falling. So, so it's already a stone. So what we'll say, instead of doing that, we'll say drop. And then that's boxy. Instead of new box, new falling, we'll just say drop. Drop. Same thing here, new stone resting. This will be, because it's a falling stone, say rest. And for the falling box, rest. So that vastly simplifies this code. Let's see if I make sure I didn't break anything with that. Okay. And I broke things badly. Okay. Right? Maybe it's just here we change it because we know it's a falling stone. Oh, and a falling box. If it's new resting. So you want to say rest. And there's a falling box, rest. Okay. All right. So maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead, compile that, make sure I didn't break anything. And I did not break anything. Okay, good. So, all right, so now we see that these two ifs are both returning the same thing. So we can combine those by putting an or in between them. Do that, right. That, there we go. Build that. Make sure we didn't break anything. I'm a little paranoid now. Okay. See, it's good to test. Good to test. All right. So now, what did we do with our or statements before? We took that and we turned that into a method. So come up here. We will call this is falling. So we'll come here to the interface. Is falling in okay, except Go down here where we had that. Right. So for stone, we've got is falling return. This here. So this is falling stone or is falling box, right? And do the same thing for box, for is falling. Right. So now we can simplify this. We say, okay, this is our stone. It will never be a falling box, so that's always false. Falling stone might be true. And then this will never be a falling stone because it's a box, right? So is falling stone equals false, and is falling stone returns this dot falling dot is falling. So anything or false will always be that very thing. So we'll return this dot is falling stone. Why don't we make this dot is falling? Just take this. Falling dot is falling. Here we go. Is falling, return this dot falling dot is falling. Let's get rid of this extra parentheses, right? And looky here. Do the same thing here. Turn this dot falling dot is falling. Is falling. All right. And then, you know what? Get rid of that. Because nothing happens there. So is resting, is falling, is falling. So now we can say, you know, we've got this these if statements here. Well, the is falling stone. I'm wondering who calls that. This guy calls it. That's if it's false. Is falling stone. Falling stones has defined in a bunch of places, and it's here is falling stone and is falling box. Okay. So this is where we change this to be is falling, because that's what we just wrote. Boom, is falling. So now let's go and build this. Did I break anything with all my rushing? Okay, so yeah, I've gone on a little long. I'm going to well this is a reasonably good place to stop. We're not gonna get into our Boolean logic stuff that we had hoped to get into, but we got to practice this this refactoring of combining classes and getting rid of swaths of code which is one of my favorite ways to refactor and to clean things up. So real quickly before we stop, we'll go ahead and check in the changes we made. So we created a the isFalling method, or we create the drop and rest and isFalling methods, right, to simplify the logic. So created drop, rest, and isFalling to simplify logic. There we go. Oh gosh. There. So we will check that in. We'll say, okay, we're done for this week. And next week, we will get back after it. And so thanks for joining the party. And let's remember to just keep calm and refactor. We'll talk to y'all later. You have a great day. Bye. Boom.